Tara's big announcement. Tara's big.
This was your idea.
But I didn't know you would say yes.
Then don't bring it up if you don't want me to say
I'm
yes.
liking that. In theory, we should be live, but I don't see us yet. There we... Oh, wait, no. We're not live yet. What? This says we're live. Am I streaming to the wrong place? There we are.
Are we on here?
Now I see us. Hooray!
Hurrah! Hip hip hooray!
John! Or John, Mrs. John. Paul! Paul says you have to move here. Yes! Oh, okay.
All right.
April, Christy, Amy, Ellen, Crazy J, Tracy, Ellen, Lisa.
So we are doing a special show today.
We are.
We are.
Mike opened his big yap and Tara said, yeah!
All right. So.
Heather, Karen, Joanne, Betty, Crystal.
We are doing a special show today for a couple. Paul. Paul wants Dave to move there.
Is Dave on?
I don't know. Hello,
Dave.
Tommy and Patty. Hello.
Tommy and Patty are like, what? What's up with the hats?
We're dressing for the occasion. See, Mike's the real Irish and I'm the fake Irish.
Hey, Mindy's son Colin says it's almost my birthday. It is your son, right?
Hello.
Birthday party, I assume. All right, mister.
Paul said he wants you to move to England instead.
Paul?
Cooney.
Wait. Oh, Cooney. Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was really confused. I was like, which Paul? Since you're on Facebook.
Jennifer's like, Ireland, what?
Yes, I would love to move to either England or Ireland. I have another friend over there.
Dave's got more friends
so-
in the UK
than here. So
Turin says do that. Oh, it'd be a short flight to Norway, wouldn't it?
Oh, we could go visit Turin too, couldn't
That
we?
would be cool. That would be a plus. See, that's a reason to do it.
Oh. Okay, so.
Except we won't be able to go to Australia and meet Amy T.
Why not?
Well, wait. It would be cheaper though.
So somebody was asking, I forgot who was asking,
It wouldn't be
is it a
easy.
new show day? No,
No.
just today.
We're
normally doing the Monday, Wednesday,
Here,
Friday.
hold
Yeah.
on. Let me go get my hat. My flat
So
cap.
so we have this idea that Mike came up with.
Mike didn't know that this was going to be taken so seriously, but yay. Thank you, Kathy.
So, here's the thing. So, we went and looked Saturday. A house came up. Thank you, Tammy. I'm so glad it's helped you. So, Saturday, we went to go look at a house in the mountains on the east side of the mountains. So, it would have been still close to town. Well, semi-close to town.
Here in
You can
Colorado.
sit right there.
Yeah, but they'll be out of frame.
And, see, Dave's all ready.
I got my London jacket.
Barbara says there's no way you're moving.
You've got your London jacket and your
You
Irish
might be
hat.
right, Barbara. We have to get
Well-
permission.
I feel like we should though.
Hi,
Okay,
Karen.
so-
Hi, Linda in Galway.
Because if we don't go, then we're just running away from fears. And
Linda
stuff.
says hello from Galway. I can help with info and I'll ask
So,
away.
you're the people we need, and that's actually why we are doing this show.
Oh.
So, here's what happened. We went to go look at a house
In
in the
Colorado.
mountains in Colorado. A pretty good location, still a bit noisy for my taste, but it was a really, really nice house. But, stop.
10 out of 10, guys.
It was over $600,000, and we would still have to do probably $50,000 to $100,000 worth of buildings to get a studio and a house for Mom. So we were like, ugh.
So Tar was there, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go look up something here. So I went and I looked up houses. I was looking in houses in County Kerry.
No, he really did look at
And I said,
real Irish houses.
Whoa! Here's one. Here's one for
It was
$280,000.
nice.
Which, if we were to sell this house, we could actually pay cash for. Well, no, it was euro. Sorry, but we could still pay cash if we were
Yeah.
to sell this house.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
euro
So-
is a form of cash. too.
So I just jokingly said, this would be a smarter idea than borrowing $300,000 more to buy a house here in Colorado.
So we were like, well, why don't we sell our house in Colorado, go over to Ireland for a year or two and save up cash, and then come back, and hopefully prices will drop by then, or we could build something maybe by then.
Wait, is Poland Dublin now?
And
not
here in
Dublin,
Colorado. Because the housing prices in Colorado are as bad as California now.
Kathleen says Ireland, Colorado.
No, real Ireland.
Oh yeah, he's
So,
in Ireland. Okay.
Since
Is he in England?
oh, they say you look just like me.
Emran
No.
says ideas. Mike, see what happens when you think.
A nice good idea or two here and there.
He's
No,
always
I'm
had
kidding.
good ideas. He
Um,
always has good ideas.
And so
That is.
so we were like, well, let's sell our house and move. So Saturday we were gonna sell our house and move to Ireland.
Well, and just because people are concerned, we would look to make sure that there was sufficient internet
Oh yeah,
access.
we know that much. Believe me. Yeah.
Jonathan, what is going on? I gave you a heads up. You just didn't check your message.
Oh. But then we were kind of thinking, okay, we need a home base for our U.S. based business, because in order to move to another country like Ireland or New Zealand or something like that,
Or
you
England.
have to have your own income. They don't just want you going over there and mooching off of their system that they've worked hard for all these years. So, and that's totally no problem with that. I totally understand that. No problem with that. Although this has made me realize, after researching all this, the U.S. has some very relaxed immigration laws.
Wow. The biggest difficulty
Whoa.
would be getting permission.
Yeah, so then what happened was we went from we were going to totally sell our house and move over there to finding out, okay, we had to keep a U.S. address for our business. And we also had the problem, which isn't our problem, we totally understand that, but you know, you help out your kids, that kind of thing. BJ has been looking for apartments here, and for a studio, crummy bedroom apartment in Colorado, it's $1,200 a month.
Wait, I have to interrupt. Ireland is great. I loved it there. You so should. And then Jen says, if you're moving, I'm coming with you.
Come on.
We're going to have like a huge entourage.
Well, especially since the gals at Jack's school, she's like, well, I could homeschool the kids.
Jamie.
Dina, is that
The
her
problem
name?
is each one has to get permission.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you think they have doorbells, Dave?
Probably.
So then,
I said doorknobs, not doorbell.
so then we started looking, and we kind of needed. So now Jonathan's saying, Alderman Farms, please talk some sense into it. So then what we were thinking was, well, wait a minute. BJ's having a hard time finding a place to live. We have all these books we need to ship still, because we were still planning on keeping the business going while we were gone. He could ship the books. We could have them stored here. He could ship them, and he could live here. And then we could rent our house out for like an Airbnb type thing. And then that would cover our mortgage while we're gone.
And then the people living in the Airbnb.
And so then we were thinking, well, I don't know. With BJ here, I don't really trust him to keep it clean enough for an Airbnb type situation.
If you've seen the garage, you know BJ's out of the picture here.
So then we decided, well, wait a minute. Maybe Airbnb wouldn't be a great idea, although that we haven't totally ruled that out yet. So the next step we were thinking was, well, maybe we could rent the BJ's in the basement, so maybe we could rent the top portion of our house for short-term rental. Because in Colorado, what's happening is they're building houses, and these people have to sell their house, but they don't have a place to go. So we thought, well, we could do that. So we might do that, but here's what we want questions answered from you guys, especially if you're in Ireland. So, the weather is perfect in Ireland, according to Tara. Let me just say that.
Lisa says,
I will tell you
Ballina,
that.
Ireland. Yes, you should
Dude.
come. Good internet. I hope I even said it right.
Well, there you go.
See, I would need to learn how to pronounce things.
So for Lisa and everybody else, first of all, we're looking for a house for short-term rental, probably 1 to 3 months. Probably 3 months.
You think?
We were going to go for a year, but then Mike called like 15 Irish consulates today.
Well, it's not. They didn't say no on that by any means. The thing is that there are a lot of hoops to jump through if it's more than 3 months, and it may be difficult to pull off. But we were thinking more like 6 months to a year, not permanently, but like 6 months to a year. And but as I'm reading the requirements and stuff, I realize that
It's better for you.
it may be a challenge to do that. So we know for sure we could do it for 3 months. So we're contemplating what to do here.
So first of all, we have a few questions for everybody.
We should move to upstate South Carolina.
Someone said Arkansas.
Oh, hey, just so you know, part of the thought on this was if we can rent our house or at least cover we don't have a very big mortgage, but if we had income from renting or Airbnb or whatever for that, and then whoever was living here would be paying the bills, the electricity and everything, that we would essentially have the same types of expenses. But somebody pointed out taxes are high. Yes, they are. There are some expenses that would be higher. As far as income tax, I need to find out. Something I saw said that we have to deal with that if it's more than 180 days, but it could be less.
Yeah.
So I was going to contact them and ask them. But other taxes, things would probably be 25 or 30% more expensive. Although this is Colorado, one of the most expensive places in America.
Yeah.
So it may not be as much different than here. But
Actually, for Americans, the healthcare is easier over there because you just pay cash, so it's cheaper.
well, but we have to.
So, but we
I don't-
still have our.
We have to have
Healthcare.
we may have to have a special insurance though, and I don't know how much that costs.
Well, North and South didn't.
Well, they were only there 1 month though.
We're
Oh.
So Diana, visas are not required for 90 days or less. If we go more than 90 days, we have to get permission from the Garda, which is the police force there. And a lot of it depends on, like, they want to make sure that you have
Sorry, this is fluffy.
health insurance coverage in case you go to the doctor there. They don't want you to use up all their tax paid for medical care, and they want you to have a certain amount of money in the bank or somewhere that you can get it if you have an emergency,
Yeah.
and different things like that. So
Hold just a minute. Ellie needs to leave, but she wanted to make an announcement of thank you really quick to Joanne.
Yes.
Or was
thanks.
it Joanne? I think it was. Who was it? Yeah, or Joan. Joan. It was Joan.
Thank you
Sorry.
for lay money for the pizza.
So see, she lost her pizza and God gave her double the pizza back.
I thought it was pretty funny. It made my day.
So
Okay.
Susanna says it's raining and depressing, isn't it? Well, it's funny, when Ellie and I were there, it was nice. It was cool and probably 50 degrees.
We love the wet
And I know the
precipitation.
winters aren't as cold as here, and the summers aren't as hot as here. But the one thing we did hear from a lot of the kids, especially there, the like 14 and 15-year-olds, they were saying, it never stops raining. It's always cloudy. Although when we were there,
I
it
would
was
be
nice.
happy with that. I love rain. I think it would be great.
It's sunny about as much as it rains here, and it rains like once a month here for lunch.
No, it's 24% more for Euro. So, like, she was wondering about the house thing. So, yeah. So it was back when I was talking about $250,000 house or $200 and something thousand. So it's 20. Right now the exchange rate is 21% more on the Euro. So that
Yeah.
would. Yes, Susanna, the socialized healthcare is not available to Americans that are staying there, and that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
why they're really particular about knowing what your financial situation is before you come and giving you explicit permission so that you don't come and do that. So Christine wants to know, what are we going to do for 90 days? Well, partly we would do this, but go ahead. Partly we would still do our regular thing for YouTube and Facebook. But we would also probably spend some time looking at things like how to save on groceries when you're not in the place that we're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And probably things like, live your dream kind of videos, and maybe we would travel locally, because honestly, like here in Colorado, it's cheap to drive to South Carolina. And if we were in Ireland, it would be easier to go somewhere in Ireland than to have to fly over there and spend a ton of money.
So what we were thinking about was getting a house that's centrally located, like in Mayo County on the beach. We found a place that Norp and South stayed at. There are other YouTubers who just got back from the U.S. from traveling, and they stayed at a really, really nice place on the beach was one side, and the mountains were the other side. But then you could go anywhere in Ireland, and it wasn't that far, and so you could just go travel. So what we were thinking was we could have a home base, and then just go for weekend or week trips, somewhere else. Probably
just to
weekend trips.
clarify, we have not decided we're going, and we're not planning to go forever if we go.
Yeah.
But Christine just said, "What are you going to do for 90 days?" Actually, I think it would run out really fast, because we would do a lot of what we were just now describing. And I think that the time when Elly and I were just visiting on a regular short vacation there, we found that just doing the things we wanted to do, we just got so worn out, because every single day was run.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea would be to kind of have a base where we do our regular work, and then we take some time and go somewhere and get video of that, and get video of different experiences and unusual things. And of course, the saving money, because we have a lot of people in Canada and Ireland and Australia that say it costs a lot more here, which I know it does, but there's still ways to save, and it would be kind of interesting to be able to put that on the channel. So
yeah. Okay, so let's see. So what we were wanting from you guys, yeah, actually, Lynn, we're dead serious. We're very serious. So we had thought about a couple of things. And here's the thing. We're only like 50% there at the moment.
We could be shot down right away if we contact their immigration department and they say, nope. Then
well,
we're
there's
done.
two things that are keeping us from doing this. One, Buster. He's an old dog. We don't know if he would make the trip over there. So we're not sure. And two, what would we do with our house here, because we really don't want 2 house payments. So we have a couple of options, and we would like input from you guys. If you have lived in another country, if you're in Ireland, first of all, if you're in Ireland, do you know anyone who's interested in renting their house for 1 to 3 months? First of all, is there anything that we should know that you know about that we don't know about, and you would like to tell us so that we know about it?
Well, I know Elly and I have been there, so I realize that going there for a couple weeks is not the same thing as living there.
Yeah.
But I think we were familiar enough where we would feel comfortable. Diana says it's official. Mike has lost his mind. Well, one of the things about this is, because I think, who is it that said it? Crystal. So this is like an extended vacay. Yeah, I mean, it would be, honestly, it would be like a working vacation. So it would be like we would work some, and then we would not work some. And we would do a lot of video, and I think it would be really an interesting spin on what we do. And also partly because as some people think, first of all, some people think because it's a frugal living thing that we do, that means you should never do anything. And for us, the purpose of frugal living is to be able to do the things you really want to do. And in this case, like I said, if we rent our house here to somebody else while we're gone, then we have to pay a little more because their costs are higher there. But it wouldn't be like having 2 houses or that kind of thing. So, and it wouldn't cost nearly as much as a vacation for each day, because we would actually be living there and doing our usual thing. So 90 days you could write the new book. Yeah. Actually, the new book is largely written, just needs to be, we're organizing it.
Yeah, right now the book is mostly written. It's being typeset, and then we got to proofread and all that. No, they don't quarantine pets in Ireland. We already looked that up, as long as he has his special shots and everything. But he is 14, so we weren't sure if he would be able to do it. Now, the other option that we could have is we could go to Ireland for 3 months, and then in what would be the winter, there, we could go to New Zealand for the New Zealand summer, because we've always wanted to go to New Zealand too. So what we're trying to decide is, do we want, I don't know. I haven't watched a ton of travel videos, but I have watched like North and South. It's already taken care of. North and South and Dirt Patch Heaven and Justin Rhodes. I've watched, now we're watching Out of Goshen. I have watched all these traveling families, so we get the, you know, how complicated that can be, which is why we were wanting to go and stay in one place and then go visit in that area.
So Mary's asking, would Elly go too? She would probably come some of the time, but I think she would like it if we went there, because she would think, hey, it's like a home base. I can go stay with you guys a little bit, and then I can go to France or somewhere else. She would really like to do a travel vlog. And if we were there and she was able to make a lot of little mini trips to different places in Europe, it might help her, because it would be so much less expensive for her to travel to the continent in Europe than from here. A lot of people are kind of freaking out a little bit. The thing is, oh, Kathy, that is silverware on there, yes. Sorry. A lot of people are kind of a little worried about it, but honestly, we've been doing a lot of research, and I agree, it's not the same as the United States. In fact, I was telling Jack, I think, that, you know, there's a constitution there, but it's not the same as our constitution, and things that we can do here, we might not be able to do there. And we have to be prepared for that, being in someone else's country.
Family wants to know if our new homestead will be closer to the pot of gold. Yeah.
Laurel, joining late, please explain. We were just looking at houses in Colorado, and we thought, wow, we would have to get an additional $300,000. Our mortgage is almost paid off. We'd have to get an additional $300,000 mortgage to get a house that's substantially better than this one. And it just happened that I was just joking around and said, oh, look at this house in Ireland. And Tara's like, hey, let's go.
Now, here's something that several people point out, which we had not thought of. This is why we're talking to you guys, because you guys always give us great ideas, especially since we've never done anything this crazy before. They said maybe an Irish family would want to swap houses with us.
Actually, I had thought about that.
And do a family type swap.
Especially in Colorado.
I should look up and see if there's any Irish YouTube families that would do that.
That family that we saw on the boat in Kinsale, they're like, does it get sunny there? Is there any sun? Like, Colorado has a lot of sun.
That's a good idea.
That's not a bad idea.
Because we had thought about some things, like we have one of our viewers whose son lives down the street. They were looking to try and move here. And we thought, well, maybe they would want to rent our house for a little while. So guys, here's what we're doing. We're throwing this around. And we're trying to decide, okay, do we just go... Now, we do also have the little catch of we plan to meet up in Colorado July 1st. So, frankly, if we were going to do this, I would like to leave as soon as school's out and go for the whole summer. I hate the heat. Even in Colorado, I hate the heat. I would love to just go for the whole summer if we're only going for 3 months. But we have our July meetup. So then we thought, well, maybe we could go after our July meetup and then just keep Jack out of school the first month of school and put him back in when we come back. And we could homeschool him for that part. Christy says, do it while you can. Life happens before you know it, and you're old and your body just says no. Exactly.
Diana is asking if you take any personal belongings, or are you taxed to take it? Good question. We should ask that. But you say because I had to pay road tax for the Jeep. Yes. We wouldn't, our intention would not be to bring very much. Not sure how a vehicle thing would work out there, but we would figure something out. But I know that if we were to get a vehicle there is a tax you have to pay based on the engine size. So, Shayla Cooper, what? Have you lost it?
Shayla on there. Well, here's the thing. If David and Shayla don't buy a house, they could just move into our house while we're gone. And
yes, Michelle, truly, research and living there is not the same. And that's one of the reasons why we're not talking about moving for a long time. I don't know how long you've been on tonight, but we were thinking it's looking like maybe if we were to go now, it'd probably be closer to 3 months, but we were thinking 6 months to a year. But there is a lot of little stuff they don't tell you that's true. And we have some connections there that we've been asking some questions of, although I realize there's a lot that you just don't know until you're there.
Yeah.
So, can you leave for a week and then return for another 3 months? No, you can leave for more than 90 days and then come back for another 3 months.
Yeah.
But you have to stay the other 90 days in the European Union, not in the UK. So that we probably would be less. A lot of people are worried about you for healthcare. Tara doesn't really go to
I
the
don't
doctor
get
for her.
health care.
For her stuff is there's not really any treatment that we understand how to manage what she's got, but there's no real treatment, so she
Yeah.
never goes to the doctor.
If you're worried about my chronic fatigue syndrome and fibromyalgia, the health care I have gotten has only been alternative, and the doctors don't do anything, so I don't get health care basically.
Wow, a couple people here giving us information on where to get house swap information. Because I suspect that there would be somebody, if there was, based on what we heard from people who don't like the no sun with the rent, I think it might be an interesting switch for somebody over there too. So,
Shayla, my sister-in-law says, "Okay, confirmed. You both
a lot
have
of
completely
people
lost your
are
mind."
worried about the medical. The reality is that we would be required to have some sort of insurance to cover if we had to go into the medical system there. I'm sure the medical system is fine. Some people were kind of wondering about that. But the reality is we're doing our best not to go to doctors anymore anyway.
Okay, so for humidity, I can handle cool and humid. I cannot handle hot and humid. So just so you know with that.
Wenda says, my boss and family went to France for 3 months. Took a lot of organizing, but worth it. They stayed in a lot of private homes. They saved a lot of money, but did a lot of research. Well, this is kind of like, when Elly and I went on our trip, we did a massive amount of research ahead of time. And now I've been kind of making some sort of, I don't want to say friends. I like to think of them as friends, but I don't really know them that well. But there are some people that I have contact with over there who we would be able to ask for more. And I've also been in contact with Americans that live over there full time, which is we're not thinking about doing full time for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a lot of the fears that people are expressing in the comments, that's part of the reason why it would be awesome to go. Oh, I forgot. One of us needs to look at YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing. So here's our next question.
Thank you, Bethany.
So I'm going to list our questions here in case you guys are popping in and out. Our first question. If you're in Ireland and you know of anyone who has a house that they would be willing to rent for 1 to 3 months, please contact us. Second, if you have done something like this and there are things that we have not thought of, please let us know. We are not just jumping in, flying out there tomorrow.
Although we
are doing our research.
When we moved to Idaho, we just picked up and went.
We did.
And
we literally picked up and went.
It was a massive growth experience for us. And
we actually loved it.
We would definitely want to know, but I think we're not completely in the dark. And reschedule your meetup. Well, we weren't thinking of going before the meetup.
Well, I was just saying, if we just went for 3 months, I'd like to go for the whole summer. Oh, yeah. And I'd need to talk to Bandana Grandma because she already had planned to come out here. I don't want to ruin her plans for coming out here for the meetup.
Rosemary, just do it. The thing is, one of the things is that this would be great for all of you because you get to see it. You get to see you get to see it without any risk.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the next question, though, that we want your opinion on, though. Do you guys think that it would be better for us? We think that we might be able to possibly pay off our house this year or come really, really close to getting our house paid off this year. Do you think it would do better for us to, actually, as I'm saying this out loud.
Because we couldn't leave enough money in the bank then to go next year, so we'd have to wait another year.
Yeah, but if we only went for 3 months.
Oh, for 3 months. Yeah.
I'm going to be Irish.
Oh, for 3 months. You're right.
Like if we went 3 months to Ireland and then 3 months to New Zealand next year, we could do that then. But do you think we should pay off our house first? And as I'm vocalizing this, I'm thinking, yeah, that's probably the best idea. Pay off our house first and then try this next year instead? We're not sure.
So Lynn's asking, what about income? So the idea is we would still do living on a dime. Mm-hmm. And we probably would try to do some other things as well, because when Elly and I went to Ireland, I really thought it would be awesome to do travel stuff. And I worked for PBS for decades. And during that time, I thought, man, I would love to do what Rick Steves does. I know.
Oh, sorry. I'm being loud.
it would just give us opportunities for some other interesting experiments in growing what we do on the internet. So that would be the goal. Although we would, I will have to ask them, but it's likely we would have to have. Well, it depends on how long we're doing it, but we may have to get permission to do that. But that would be the idea, so that we're not. It's not like a vacation where we're taking off and not having any income during that time.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, a couple people were saying, "You're only young. Once, just do it." Well, that's the thing I noticed is if you have never done anything a little bit crazy, it really expands your world in a great way. And a lot of what we got, Julie,
Oh man.
unfortunately don't have close enough relatives to get in on that basis. Like it was my great grandparents that.
So Lisa said, my son's bus driver was going to retire at the end of this year and travel. He died on Good Friday. Well, let's go tomorrow.
Wait, what was that?
Her son's bus driver was going to retire at the end of the year, and then he died. Maybe we should go tomorrow.
Yeah. Somebody said, what do you think of a motorhome or part of it?
The what? Motorhome?
Wenda's asking.
I don't know.
She's in Alberta, Canada.
I have no idea.
So
here's the thing. It would probably make our business do much better, especially if I'm doing cooking over in a foreign country. Can you imagine those shows? I can't turn on the stove. That would probably grow our YouTube channel and grow our business. So we probably would not lose income. We would probably actually gain income. But, we don't want to just, jump in either without realistic expectations.
Oh, I didn't know that. Several people were saying, pay off your house, pay off your house. Mary says, no, they need to see you're coming back to Colorado. If
Yes.
it's paid off, you may have no reason to need to come back. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but if we still owned it.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is that if you own it, you could live in another country forever because you could just have somebody in it all the time.
Well, that's true. BJ would stay and ship the books for us.
Well, and Mindy was asking, what about leaving BJ when he's not feeling so well? So we've been to some doctors. We've significantly cut back the number of doctors we've gone to, and he's been feeling a lot better after some advice we got from the last couple. And it looks like he may not have anything that it looks like lifestyle changes have improved him greatly that they recommended. So
Sue, yes, the time change, was that Sue? Oh yeah, Sue, the time change, yeah, we totally get that. We would have to replan the show around time change, probably have to move it to Saturday, Sunday, something like that. So we're not doing the show at midnight every night for you guys, even though we love you.
One thing on the house is it's mostly paid off. It's just that there's a requirement that you keep a certain amount of cash in the bank to be allowed to, if we do more than 3 months. There's a requirement to keep, if we do 3 months, it would be much easier in a lot of ways. But if we go longer than 3 months, there's a requirement to keep a certain amount of money in the bank. So if we pay it off, that might delay us an extra year beyond the payoff.
So,
but we could pay it off right when we get back.
Karen, yes, we could take a lot of it off on our taxes. We could, especially if we vlog it. And as you can see, my sister-in-law is not dealing with this very well. She does not deal with change very well.
Hey, you went to Hawaii, Shayla.
See, you went to Hawaii. We can just go to Ireland for 3-4 months.
Karen, I'm not sure if we can deduct some of the expenses on the U.S. taxes as business. It kind of depends on which expenses and what. Like if we're there long enough to require. If we're there long enough, we would have to pay some taxes to Ireland, and then the treaties between the countries would mean that we'd pay different amount of taxes.
Barbara, my husband retired and got cancer. That's kind of what we're thinking. We're stabilized at the moment. We are...
A lot of people saying life is short.
We're stabilized at the moment. We're finally making a good enough income that we don't have to worry how we're going to fix our cars, those kinds of things. And we can do some of these things. And because we have chosen to have an internet business, which is a huge pain in the patootie half the time, the other time it's really nice when we decide to do stuff like this. We can literally just... Mike and I took all of our show equipment with us, carried it on the plane to go to Mississippi. We could do the same to go to Ireland. BJ said that he would stay here to pack books. If he decides he wanted to come too, then a neighbor, she said she would be more than willing to do that. So Bethany says we could call it living on a euro.
The thing is, we wouldn't have to borrow any money to do it. And it's true. The thing on the paying off the house, because a lot of people are saying, yeah, pay off the house. Here's the thing on paying off the house. You have to have a certain amount of money in the bank if you stay longer than a certain amount of time there. You have to show them that you have the money in the bank. The thing is, if we have the amount of money in the bank to pay off the house, and we go over there and we leave that money in the bank because it just has to be there to prove it to them, then when we come back, we can pay off the house all at once. And so that would give us permission.
Guys, we have not been smoking any of the Colorado wacky weed. Okay? No, we have not. We do not condone that stuff. And
truly, we don't know, because some people are wondering if we already have decided, and other people are. The thing is, we honestly, in the good moments, our gut feelings are, let's do it. There's, like, reach for your dreams and do something. I mean, not like, if you have to borrow a bunch of money, then don't. And we wouldn't have to.
And we would not. Yeah.
But the thing is that, what was I going with that? I forgot. The hardest part was the food. Janelle, maybe that would motivate us to eat less.
I know. So why was the food hard? Do you remember? You said you liked the food.
We ate non-regular food.
You ate sort of Americanized food?
Well, we ate more restaurant kind of food and not regular day food.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just go live your life. Oh, that's what I can't remember what I was gonna say, but my brain's just jumped the tracks. So anyway, yes. Oh, I've been telling the kids, if you have to borrow a lot of money to go on a trip, it's not a good plan.
No.
But if you have the money to go on a trip, you're not gonna say in the future, "Oh, I wish I hadn't ever gone there."
Yeah.
But if you don't go, you're always going to think, what if I could have gone and I just didn't? And in this case, if we're able to do living on a dime while we're there, it'll be a little bit more expensive because the costs there are more. But we wouldn't have double expenses because we wouldn't be paying the expenses here.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we're actually going to
Susan, just go. I'm 68 and I say again, just go.
The boys and I are going to go get our passport photos Thursday, and hopefully Friday we can get our passports started.
Yes, Suzanne, Ireland is part of the EU. Okay, Angela. Angela's very confused. So if you're just joining us, or anyone that might be just joining us, we've been looking for a place to live for a long time. We kind of like a little change from our place here in Colorado. And we kind of got this silly idea that we should just sell our house and buy one in Ireland. And then we ended up getting a little more realistic and said, maybe we should rent our house to someone else and then rent the house in Ireland for a while. And it became, more of a contained idea. But we were thinking of what this could do for the business and what it would do for us and how it would be fun and how we would meet a lot of awesome people and just learn a little about a different culture. Elly was saying, oh, Dad, this would be the best thing for the boys to have this experience. And
yeah.
She would like to come and use it as she would like to use it as a base to jump off of to go visit other places too. Although I think she'd like to see other places we didn't see yet there. So
okay, so everybody wants to know about Mom. So we asked Mom if she wanted to come, and she said, well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know. So she was up in the air. So she probably wouldn't want to move there with us, but she might come to visit us for a few weeks or a month or something. If we said come out for a month,
she'd probably say, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle, if you enjoy cold, damp weather, then go for it.
I do.
Tara would love cold, damp weather all the time.
I would live there all the time.
I would like it for a defined amount of time.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't want the cold, damp weather. I probably wouldn't want to do it forever. But it's really the climate, the wet thing, yeah. But the temperature is perfect based on what we have here in Colorado. So, Angela, why do you need money in the bank to go to Ireland? So, if we don't necessarily if we stay 90 days or less.
Yeah.
90 days or less, you can get a tourist visa. You just come there, say, I'm here on a vacation. They stamp your passport, and you're good. But if you want to stay for more than 90 days, you have to get permission from their government and additional permission from their government. I mean, the stamp is a permission. But to get an additional permission over 90 days, then they want to see you have money in the bank and some things like that, so that because they don't want you to come to their country and then say, oh, I'm destitute, I can't pay for my own bills, so I need to get the government assistance from Ireland when I'm not an Irish citizen. So that's why they ask you on the money in the bank. But the thing about the money in the bank is they don't require you to pay it to anyone. They just want it to be there in case you have some unforeseen emergency, that you don't become a burden on their welfare system.
Yeah.
So,
2 families said spring gathering next year, living on a 10 pence. I love you guys. You're some of my favorite YouTubers.
Cheryl says, my sister-in-law sold everything, went to Greece 90 days, then she's coming back here and then going somewhere else. Do it and have fun.
We seriously had considered just selling everything we own and doing it. But we need an address for our U.S. business, and
also
this would be good to keep our house just in case we get over there and we're like, we tried it, we didn't like it, okay, we're coming home. Here's the thing, guys. You know, we get criticized a lot, and people will say, oh, well, you don't want to be flaky, or well, that's not being you're not living on a dime doing that. First of all,
figure out how to do it for the same price.
Yeah, here's a couple of things. They went to Ireland for $1,700 for 3 weeks. Mike and Elly did.
And that was just a vacation. That wasn't a living there thing.
That is a great deal. So you can do these things on a dime. But here's the thing. We have been super careful with our money for 24 years. So that now when our finances are in order and we don't have any major medical bills or debts or anything at the moment, we can do these things, and this is how we choose to spend our money. Other people will choose to go buy a brand new $70,000, $80,000 truck. That's okay if you have the cash to do that. We aren't going to spend $70,000 or $80,000 doing this, but I'm just saying that's how we would rather do it. So,
they have Aldi stores in Ireland too. Yes, Karen, they do.
I know.
Well, and Angela, so you actually want to move there and live. Well, not forever, but we were thinking anywhere between 3 months and a year. Although based on it may be closer to 3 months based on their immigration law over there.
Yeah. Tori says, when I visited Scotland weather, that was perfect for me. I never got chapped lips or dry skin, and I didn't have to blow my nose constantly. Oh, I'd love that. I would love that. Could we go to Scotland for 3 months then?
Scotland is UK, so that doesn't count.
So it's anywhere in the UK for 90 days. So we can't go...
No, you mean leaving Ireland?
So we can't leave Ireland and go to England for 30 days?
No, it has to be
90 days?
in the European Union, not including
the UK.
UK.
Oh, okay. Well,
or
that
it could be
work.
Switzerland, too. Switzerland is included. Wow, that would be nice. So Jackie says, my husband and I toured Scotland for 4 months. He had a heart condition. We realized he would not get to 65. We bought a motorhome. I have a lot of happy memories, and he died when he was 63. I'm sorry that he died, but I'm glad that you...
You're not a spring chicken. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we should get on the boat.
I'm very sorry that you lost him, Jackie, but I am so glad you got that time together. And that's the thing I think is, I think we won't look back and regret it. And the thing is, there's not really a dramatic way to lose a lot of money doing this. I mean, except the kind of ways that we would lose a dramatic amount of money if we were here.
And here's the thing: we could possibly lose probably $10,000 to $20,000, possibly. We don't think that would happen. We think it would actually bring us more income. But let's say
it would probably make our business busier.
Yeah, but let's say we lost $10,000 to $20,000. My neighbors around here, they spend $10,000 to $15,000 just going to Disney World. It's ridiculous. So we're talking about doing something major, not just going to Disney World, which, if you ask me, I think is a huge waste of money. I've never been there, but from what I've heard.
Oh.
But even at that, people have spent that much going on just a vacation. So.
Wow, that's so awesome. So Linda is encouraging us greatly. and Linda in Galway is encouraging us greatly. Galway's in Ireland, for those of you who don't know that. She was saying plenty of choice of supermarkets here. We have Aldi, Lidl, or Lidl? Is it Lidl?
I think
don't know
it's
how you say
Lidl.
that.
I think
and
it's
Tesco
Lidl.
and Super Value. Ellie and I have been to Tesco, Super Value, and of course Aldi, and we really loved. We felt a particular kinship to Tesco just because when we were in London and we unexpectedly had no communication when we first got there, the people at Tesco helped us greatly with that. So, but all the stores that we went to were good.
Honestly, for the 3 months, if it wasn't for Bandana Grandma coming to Colorado in July for our meetup, I would probably just say let's go at the beginning of the summer and not just get one house. Maybe we could stay I've been looking, and there are different houses that you can get them for 2 or 3 weeks here and 2 or 3 weeks there. And so we could do something like that. I even found a church. I was listening to some sermons online yesterday, a church in Mayo County, and I was like, well, this guy's pretty good.
Maybe I could just go chop.
Well,
Coonies
and when
for a
Ellie and
little
I went, when we were visiting over there, we found we didn't end up going because the service was at a time that was too difficult. But we found a church in Limerick that looked really great. So,
Yeah.
Mary, do you have to get a work visa since you'll be doing YouTube? Possibly. I think it depends on how long we stay. But I was going to send so today I thought I'm going to call the Denver consulate, the Irish consulate in Denver. So I called there and they said, "Oh, we don't do that here anymore. You have to call the Austin, Texas Irish consulate." So I call there and it says, "Oh, hey, we just started lunch and it's going to be 2 hours." So I waited 2 hours and I called them and they said, "Oh, we don't do that anime here. You have to call San Francisco." So I called San
Would have
Francisco.
been easier just to call
and left a
Ireland.
message, and they got back to me and they said they didn't know for sure with this type of thing, but they gave me some contact information of places in Ireland that I would have to contact to ask that. And if we did have to get a visa for that, I would certainly be willing, as long as they would grant it to us. And since our business would not, it might mean that we have to pay some taxes to Ireland, which for the time that we would be there would be appropriate. But I don't see that they would likely decline it because it wouldn't be taking a job away from some Irish person that's looking for a job. So, and I think that's part of their concern too with the non-EU people
I have
coming.
to say, as we're sitting here talking to people, I'm thinking we should just go. I can't believe I'm saying
I vote
this.
you do it, live while you can. So the thing is, here's the thing. This is kind of thing about risks in life. We don't have to go into debt to do it. We
have the cash saved up.
It could cost us a little. We anticipate it costing us more than we normally spend for that limited amount of time, but less than going on a vacation. And so there is a slight possibility there's unexpected costs that would go over, but there's also a pretty good possibility it would dramatically increase our presence on YouTube and Facebook, which would increase our income a lot. So the likelihood is greater that it would increase our income than that there would be unexpected expenses, because we already have in mind kind of an emergency contingency plan for unexpected expenses. And as far as that goes, when Ellie and I went the first time, we stopped in London first, and then we came across on the ferry, which is, by the way, the very best way, I think, to get to Ireland is to take the ferry from Holyhead to Dublin. I have a video that has that on our playlist there, if you want to share that, dear.
To family, you are welcome, but we have to say thank you to you. We appreciate it. I'm sorry I couldn't watch the whole thing. I had a kid meltdown that I had to go help with, but thank you.
Sorry, the rest of that story, though, was when we got to London, we had plans for data for the computer, we had plans for phone service, we had plans for all this. And I had some stuff on the computer, and I didn't think that the kind of computer I was using needed to be connected to the internet for you to have access to your stuff. And so when we got to London, everything failed. We had no phone service, we had no data, all that stuff that we had brought as the contingency plans, all of it failed. And we had to improvise. And the thing is, it's good experience learning how to improvise, especially, in another country where you have to ask the right questions of the right people to figure out. But it ended up being a beautiful experience. So this would be obviously a bigger kind of thing, and there could be more. I say live a little and go for it. You have nothing to lose. You can always go back home. Yes, actually what would be fun too is we thought it'd be great to it's not very expensive to travel from there to other places in Europe, and it might be good to take a trip here and there during that time, because we could. I mean, from here we'd have to incur a large expense every time we go. There it would be a small expense.
Oh, there's Bandana Grandma now. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to be emailing her. Yeah, speak of the Devil 2 family, you're funny. So, I don't know. We're up in the air, although quite frankly, I'm thinking we should do it. But if it's only for 3 months, it wouldn't be that huge of a problem with the house. I personally think, now what do you guys think of this? I think Mom, see, she's not here, so she can't defend herself. I think Mom should come and stay in our house while we're gone during the summer, so it's cool in Colorado. And she can stay in our house and Airbnb it to our viewers, and then they can just sit and bask in her glory.
We would have enough rooms.
We could charge $500 a night for them to just sit and bask in her glory. And then we would have our house payment, and she could earn a little moolah on the side.
Yes. Michelle says, pack much less than you think you need. Yes. Ellie and I were super minimalist when we went over there, and we had everything. We brought a little computer and some video equipment, and we brought everything that we needed in 2 carry-on bags. And then I think we each brought another bag just empty, so that if we wanted to bring stuff back, we could. And so when we came back, I think both bags were about half full.
Julie, I was just saying $500 a night to see if anybody was paying attention.
Yes.
Yes, Melissa, we would still do
we're
it.
thinking Northern Ireland, or not Northern Ireland, sorry, the Republic. We're thinking of in the Republic. Northern Ireland was really nice, but
Yeah.
Ellie and I really wanted to see more in the Republic, and I think that the culture there is, we're more familiar with the English culture, and I think it would be really awesome to be kind of immersed in the culture.
I have already seen all of Norp and South's videos, and actually they were very helpful because they helped us think of some things that we hadn't thought about. Like one of their daughters said, I'll be really glad to go home where I can play with the same friends all the time and not have to worry about making new friends every time we go somewhere. So that's why we were thinking more along the short-term side instead of the long traveling around everywhere side. After watching Justin Rhodes and seeing how that trip just really took a toll on them, that trip just really knocked them out. And we were like, I don't think we want to be doing an RV around the country, around Canada, that kind of thing. We need to go somewhere where we can sit and rest if we need to, but then we can go see things we haven't seen before at the same time within a day or a weekend or something like that.
Well, and Galway is one of the places we haven't been. So one of the things that would be cool is Ellie and I, Ellie and I went to as many places as we could in the time we had, but we missed certain areas that would be nice to see. And some of what we saw, we'd love to see again. And if we were there for 3 months, we would definitely have enough time to visit some things.
Yeah. Ramona, we rented our house for 3 months and it ended up costing 5 times more than our house payment. That is a concern. And quite frankly, I would probably just lose the house payment part for that. Although, as I said, in Colorado, they're building a lot of houses here where families have to sell their house and they don't have a short-term rental. And there's several people like at our church. I even have family members that are in the middle of this. We could get someone trustworthy possibly who would need a place to live for 3 months, and it would be okay with BJ being here too. So that kind of thing. Bandana, I'm going to talk to you. Okay. So here's the thing, Bandana. What we were saying was we were talking about actually moving to Ireland. But we found out today, actually like an hour before the show went on, Mike called the Irish consulate and we found out that we can really only go for 30 days where it's not, 90 days where it's not horrendously complicated to do visas and stuff like that.
It might be worth it though. There's like a 50-50 chance after I talk to them. And if there is a way that it can work out, I'm sure I can discern that with them.
Yeah. So we were trying to decide that. So if we went for 3 months, I was just saying it would be great if we could go the whole summer. But since you guys had already planned on coming out here, I don't want to cancel our meetup for that. So we could just go like after the meetup and then just keep Jack out of school for a month or two, and then go again. So,
Thanks for everyone who says I have a friend.
I can talk
and
to you
stuff.
later, though. But I don't know, guys. That's kind of what some of the things that we were wanting your advice on. And if anybody in Ireland knows, or maybe even Scotland, knows of a place to rent, we don't really want to do England right now. It'd be more like Ireland or Scotland. I don't know. You said you really liked Scotland after you guys went for
I would
that.
rather be in Ireland and then visit Scotland. So, the Irish people were amazing. The Scottish people were even more friendly. And there was some Scotland we didn't go to, but I would rather be based in Ireland just because I love Ireland so much. And then go to Scotland to see things we missed. And Elly was talking about she'd love to take the ferry across and hang out in Wales for a little bit because we went through Wales on a train and we thought, man, we should have set some time here.
Hey, Big Bear, how are you, dude? My soap business, I would just shut everything down until we came back. I wouldn't make soap over there. The regulations are crazy, crazy, crazy over there. And
Wow, thank you, Linda. Linda is very excited, I think. She's sharing a lot of links for us. Linda is in Galway.
Oh, thank you.
So,
We looked at houses. I looked at houses there just before I went on the show, actually.
and that's one place that I kind of wish we had gone, but we didn't. But it's just Elly and I laid out everything on the map that we had heard of or that we really wanted to do. And
Bye, two family.
And we just weren't sure specifically which things we would want to see in Galway, but we knew we should go there. But there was just so much to see that we couldn't go everywhere. So that was, we had more things in other places. My guess is there's a lot of stuff we just didn't know about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And that's partly why we wanted to go and rent was because... Sorry.
whoa!
I never sneeze that loud. I'm sorry.
See, you just about blew your brains out there.
Sorry about that, guys. What was I talking about before I blew my brains out?
Wow, there are a lot of stories here of we should have done it and we didn't, then this thing happened.
Well, maybe you're going to
And there are
die
a
of a
lot of-
heart attack in 2 years and we should go do this while we can before you're on to glory. Just kidding.
Yes.
Or
Thank you,
maybe
Linda,
I'll go.
for your links.
So,
A lot of people saying we should try the home exchange. That would be great. Well, and the funny thing is, being in Colorado, I think there would be a lot of potential for the home exchange.
well, and
idea.
here's the thing. Our house is perfect because we are right on two highways. So we're I-25 and then 66 going up to one of the biggest probably the biggest tourist place, Estes Park.
With the Rocky Mountain National
In the
Park.
Rocky Mountain, in the summer, I-25 is the north-south highway, and we're on 66 heading up to Estes Park, the biggest tourist destination in Colorado in the summer. So our house is perfect for somebody who's wanting to come to Colorado. Well, maybe we should just let Bandana stay here all summer.
Did you say something about $500 a night? That's not...
No, with Mom. Then they could bask in Mom's glory for
Oh.
$500 a night.
Oh, I see. It was a mother-in-law joke. Just kidding. Are you going to do living on a dime while you're gone? That would be the plan, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I do need to contact various government agencies and find out what is legal and what we have to do.
Yeah. Bella, I still have some blueberry pie soap left. Yes.
Are you bringing the children? David and Jack would come with us.
For sure.
We have already talked to Jack's school, and it would be possible to take him out for an extended time and then put him back in.
Possibly. Yeah. Possibly.
So
That's not definite, but they were like,
it's
well...
more definite than the other things.
Yeah.
Find some frugal bloggers from Ireland. Start a friendship. They may be able to help. Bloggers and iFollow are extremely friendly.
Well, that's what I was thinking. If we could find an Irish family that's blogging. Do you guys know of any Irish families that are blogging?
Have friends that we visit in Ireland, and then after we come back to the States, it would be fun to have that connection to be able to go back.
Yeah.
And really anywhere. I mean, there are a lot of other places where a lot of our viewers are from that I would love. Oh, hey, Jason's on. Hey, Big Bear.
Yeah.
Awesome to see you, man.
We could go see Turid.
Yes. Well,
In Norway.
and I forgot her name, but in Iceland, I forgot your name, but she said, she's one of the ones that said we should definitely do it. So is there a missionary from your church that could stay in your house on a furlough?
Possibly.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I had thought about that, actually.
That would be a great idea.
I had thought about that. Big Bear, if we go, we're not going to go permanently. It would be like a temporary thing.
So will we homeschool? Yes, Big Bear. I still have a date with you to come eat some beaver. Yes, Renee. Renee says, I fell in love with Ireland, but it's impossible to move there unless your like parent or grandparent is from there, or if you're seriously independently wealthy. They have a great number of restrictions that would make it difficult to get in. Hi, Kim. Where in Ireland are you?
Oh, see, you're the people we need. So we're looking for people if they have a house that we could rent for 1 to 3 months in Ireland, or if there's something that we should know if we go over and visit for an extended stay. Probably 3 months. We're leaning towards 3 months right now. But if you guys know of anybody who might have a house they would want to rent, I have looked on several vacation type rental things, and I can find houses where we could get like 2 to 3 weeks here and 2 to 3 weeks there. We could do something like that. The only thing is it has to have internet or close somewhere. Well, really it needs to have internet to make our lives easier for the business, because we would be taking our business over there. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I did look in County Mayo where Norp and South stayed, but they can't do anything until September at the place they stayed.
Well, and we, even though it would be great to be there anytime, we'd like to spend some of the time when the weather is nicer. I mean, obviously, I forgot when Michelle was talking earlier about it does rain a lot and it's cool a lot.
Yeah.
But it tends to be less that way certain times of the year, and it would be nice to go not in the middle of the winter.
Linda, I may have been mistaken. It may be England where I heard that they had some regulations about that. I don't know. But, this is supposed to be kind of like a getaway thing, so I probably wouldn't be making soap. I don't know. All our Irish friends would probably want soap,
We could just make it for them, to give it to them. What about BJ? BJ has things going on here, and he would like to stay, although he might change his mind and want to come visit. I don't think he would want to stay the whole time.
Yeah.
County Wicklow. Oh, cool.
Yeah. So, okay. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Every time I have doubts, then after I'm done, I'm thinking we should just maybe do this.
Yes.
But I don't know.
You should write a journal book for those of us who would like to visit Ireland for 3 months. Yes. Well, one thing, instead of live shows, you should tape them. We will still be here when you get back. What we'd probably do is try to do some live shows, but then have some that are recorded, just because the time difference would make it difficult in some ways. Actually, Patricia, one thing is, it would be nice if what we did would inspire people not to be afraid and to do exciting things they want to do in life. I'm not saying to be irresponsible, but I'm just saying a lot of people are afraid to do stuff like this, and it might be fun to do it. I think everybody should have that kind of excitement, because I told somebody the other day at church, this example is that I talk to a lot of people that say, Elly and I went to Ireland last year, and the UK, and to England and Scotland too. And I talk to so many people here, and they say, it would just be my life's dream to go to Ireland. But I could sort of hear the echo of their thought but that's never going to happen. And I was thinking, why not? You have one life to live. Mm-hmm. If you can make it work, do it.
Yeah.
And so in this, I kind of think it's an opportunity for us to be brave and to go try something that we've never tried that might be a little scary, and maybe to inspire you to do something fun that you want to do.
Now, here's one thing which we have thought about, but we haven't found a solution for, is a car. If we're only going for 3 months, we would really hate to buy a car, but to do a car rental for 3 months could be a little bit of an issue for us. And so like Norp and South, they just shipped their van over there. Well, they have a huge family, so they specifically needed their van. We wouldn't. We might have up to 5 people. But
a number of people saying pray about it. We have been praying about it, and we will continue to. But so far, it seems good.
Wow, maybe we should go to Spain.
John says avoid Dublin, Galway, Cork. They're the most expensive. We were looking at it, trying to think if there was somewhere more central that we could go to other places. Although, to be honest, at the same time, all the seaside places that Elly and I went to were so amazing. And I would love to visit Galway and Dublin. I don't think we really saw enough of while we were there. And probably the same with Cork, because we spent our time mostly in Kinsale when we were in County Cork. But cost-wise, yes, we would definitely avoid the more expensive costs. But
And partly, guys, I am totally burned out on living on a dime. I love you guys to death, but we've been doing this for 20 years.
Hi,
and
Bella.
I am totally burned out. And I think this might be a good way to get away a little bit and not have to do quite so much. And then maybe come back and be a little bit refreshed, hopefully. I don't know if you could be refreshed if you do something like this. I'm not sure. But I've seen Justin Rhodes and North and South, and they don't look refreshed.
But this is one of the things that this is one of the reasons why we were contemplating doing it this way. Because when Elly and I were just on vacation, on holiday, we had plans to do something every day. And we totally burned out after 2 weeks. But after 4 or 5 days, especially when we did a crazy amount of stuff at the very beginning, Elly just had to sleep. And there was a point where we were saying, wow, we took some days that we were planning to go do stuff, and we just sat at the sheep farm that we loved on the Dingle Peninsula. And it was spectacular to just sit there. And so part of the idea with this is we could go do something exciting, then we could kind of sit and do a little bit of work and rest some, and then go do something exciting again. And so there wouldn't be so much pressure to do all those things, because there would be more time to be able to do it.
One lady said that backpackers buy vans that they live in, and that we could maybe find something cheap like that for a vehicle too.
Thank you, Michelle. She says you would be excellent homeschoolers. Thank you. We were planning already to homeschool Dave. Yeah. And with Jack, we would homeschool him while we were there, but then put him back in school when we came back here. Yeah. So we like his school, and he does too. So
the public transportation is probably really good. I don't know if can you get around the whole country. So like if we wanted to go see something for the day,
so here's the thing.
That kind of thing.
If the train service is really good, but it only goes to certain places. If we needed to, if we couldn't figure out a good car situation, we could rent a car for a certain amount of time and take the train on other times. So there would be various opportunities. Somebody was asking about bicycles, and I know
there's no way I could do. I don't have the option.
We would probably not use that as a primary mode of transportation, but like when Elly and I were in Killarney, it was recommended to us by a person whose house we stayed in there that we rent a bike to take into the national park, and it was a great idea. He saved us from ourselves in so many ways.
Yeah. And guys, once again, we could take this off on our taxes, a lot of it, because we are working while we're there. So it would be great for our show and our business.
I would have to consult with our accountant and everything to figure it out.
But, I mean, we would be able to take portions of it off, so...
Lisa just joined moving, or are you still going to do the show? So... we're just talking about, we just kind of kicked it up as a silly idea that's sort of becoming a serious possibility that we might see if we could go to Ireland for 3 months, or initially we were thinking 6 months to a year, but 3 months might be a lot easier from a immigration department perspective. So yes,
that would be hilarious to think that we're immigrants.
I know. It's like, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's fun.
Why Ireland? I just love Ireland. And Elly and I went there, and I would still like to visit a lot of other places in the world, and a lot of places where a lot of viewers have said, come to my country, we would love to go. But I just love Ireland, and I just, on a whim, when Tara was looking at houses, and we were thinking to buy a better house than what we have here in Colorado would be $300,000 more of debt. And we just don't want to do the debt. And so just out on a whim, I said, look, here's a house in Ireland for $250,000 or something, which if we sold our house here in Colorado would totally pay for it.
Yeah. But
in reality, we realized we wouldn't think about going permanently. Yeah. I mean, not to say that the idea would never come to our minds, but that's not our plan at this point in our lives.
Kim said, we have a great bus service that goes everywhere in the country. Well, that would be interesting to look into, because transportation was one of the problems that I had not figured out a solution to yet. Bye, Jen. See you a little bit. All right. So anyway,
And we would check into all that. Cher says, hey, we Scots are the best. I have to tell you, Cher, it was so awesome. In Ireland, when we were there, people were really, really friendly, but there's certain protocol that we don't have in the United States where people would say, hi, how are you? And I don't think that that's really an invitation to tell them how you are. So people would say, hi, how are you? And I'd say, great, how about you? And people would kind of get this look like, oh, and they kind of run away really quick. And I was just thinking, it's funny because people were really friendly, but it's just not part of the life protocol to have that, apparently, to have that kind of response that I'm used to here. But we went to Scotland, and this guy's like, he asked me how I was, and I said, oh, good, how are you? And he's like, oh, you're great. And then he goes hugging me. I thought, wow, this is over the top friendly, and I can do that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person I am.
Yeah.
So shout out, Cher. Catherine, I went to Aberdeen in Scotland in December with my daughter, and we loved it. Yes, Scotland is awesome too. LJ, we were just contemplating going to. We were contemplating looking into going to Ireland for probably 3 to 6 months. Depends on what we're allowed to do by the Irish government.
All right, so let's sing happy birthday to April real quick. It's her birthday.
There's actually 3 people.
Oh, 3 people. Who else do we have for birthdays?
We have the candle.
No.
Scrolling up to where I have the birthdays. Oops, wait, where did they go? I didn't delete them, did I? Oh, it's on this one. Hold, please. Birth. April, Colin, and Paige.
Okay, you ready?
You have the
We'll
candle?
just sing it. You ready?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear
Mandy.
April,
Or April.
Colin, and Paige.
Happy birthday to you. Woo!
Yay!
Okay, we got the birthdays. Sorry, guys. All right. So,
Are we
please,
done then? Or are
if
we...
you have any information on houses that we might be able to rent, on transportation options for us, or
And Mary,
any...
tell your daughter Anna happy birthday too.
Happy birthday, Anna.
Happy birthday, Anna.
Any other miscellaneous things that you think we just missed and should know about? Please let us know. We are truly we're only about 50% of the way there, but I would say after this show, I'm probably 60% of the way there. And we just started thinking about this on Saturday. So
The main issue really is what kind of permissions do we need, and would they give us those permissions?
if we
from the
stayed
government?
longer than 3 months.
Yeah.
If we stayed longer than 3 months. So, oh yeah, they said we could sing songs in the pub. There you
You'd be
go.
like, oh, here come the Americans again.
There you go. There you go. Carol said, I'm a redhead, pale, freckle-ish Irish American, and when I went to Ireland, all the Americans thought I was leading the tour, and I was always being asked directions. It was so funny. That's hilarious.
So, Maureen, would you think of moving to Ireland? At this point, not permanently. But you know what? I would never say we would never do anything in
I have
life.
a feeling I'm going to get over there and love it.
But we don't have any... it's not our plan to stay permanently. And, of course, we wouldn't be able to unless we told them ahead of time. And there are a lot of rules, so...
Yeah. So there would be a lot of things. So,
Melinda, I'm here later. Are you moving? Just as are we wrapping it? Because I was going to tell you, we got this kind of crazy idea as we've been looking around the United States for a new place to live to temporarily move to Ireland. Long enough to kind of get a sense of the culture and make a lot of new friends and to do some awesome things with our channel. And so we're just investigating the idea right now. I'd say there's probably a 50-50 chance we'll do it.
yeah.
Although Tara's leaning more towards a 60 chance now that we've talked to a lot of people.
Well, the boys and I are definitely going to go get our passport pictures on Thursday and hopefully get those turned in on Friday.
Kathy, we would not be planning to quit. We would be planning to still do this while we're there.
Yeah, we would still do this.
And Mary, Tara's illness, she...
it would actually probably help my illness.
Probably help it
Yeah.
because the weather there is perfect for what she has. So
yeah. So, because I like cool.
Maureen, is it a vacation or thinking of moving there? Yes. It's kind of the idea would be like a working vacation, a long vacation, but we would still be living on a dime.
Yeah.
So, and maybe more relaxed.
Yeah.
Patricia says maybe ask a church you're interested in there and see if they would rent a car to you for a small fee. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that they would want to rent to Americans.
But the reality is, there's a lot of potential what we could do. Thankfully, at least I've driven over there before and didn't kill anybody.
There's no way I would drive. I would just have to rely on Mike. There's no way. I swear I'm Lex Disick as it is.
It was a little scary at first, but got used to it pretty fast. But it was nice to have a navigator in the passenger seat.
So
anyway,
I don't know.
I love this idea. You can go live in Ireland and we can all experience it too. Yes.
There you go.
And then we can say, you do it too.
And we'll lose tons of weight because we won't want to eat anything.
Which would be great. So, all right. Well.
All right, guys. Well, yeah. Give us your 2 cents, your advice. If you have any tips or tricks, or if you have a house that you think someone might rent or want to rent, let us know.
So traveling on a dime? Sure.
There you go. We don't have anything set in stone because that's why we're talking to... Oh!
Hi, Cheryl. Cheryl says this is my first time on here. This isn't our regular show, but glad you're here and would be happy to have you come back.
Okay. So Danny says, I could learn to river dance in 90 days. Send that to me. I would love to river dance. Could you see me river dancing my way around Ireland?
Carol says, I'm a redhead, pale freckles, Irish American, and when I went to Ireland, all the Americans thought I was leading the tour, or I was always being asked directions. It was so funny. Yeah, that's the funny thing is, it wouldn't be hard to fake the Americans.
Yeah.
We used to live in a tourist area in Estes Park, Colorado, by the Rocky Mountain National Park, and it's interesting to see the backside of the tourist business.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What about all our frozen foods, Vicky? We just give them away or eat them before we go. Probably just eat them before we
Depends
go.
on how long we're gone.
Yeah.
It might still be okay.
George is telling us we need to move somewhere, but I did miss where George was saying we should... Oh, Ohio. Yeah, Ohio's a little humid for me.
Yeah, John O'Callahan says lots of cheap flights from Ireland into Europe. That's one thing we noticed. I realize this is cheaper than most flights, but Elly and I were able to fly into Glasgow for $37.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
how clean is Ireland? It was very clean everywhere we went.
Yeah.
I mean, well, there were some areas in Dublin that looked like they were a little bit economically depressed, but in general, it was really clean. So.
River dance with fibro. So here's the thing with fibromyalgia, exercise really helps fibromyalgia. So if you have fibromyalgia, you need to be getting some exercise and up moving around. Don't just sit because sitting makes it worse. So you need to get up and move around and do some stuff.
Use the public transportation. It's cheap. What we might end up doing, depending on where we are, is use the buses and the trains. And then rent a car if we need to go somewhere where we can't go easily on the buses or
we can
trains.
maybe do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of flexibility. One thing Elly and I realized when we were there, we had the car, which was great because we went to a lot of really remote places, but there's so much of the transportation goes to many, many places.
So Lisa says, I heard in Ireland it's a very common thing for the Irish to stop by sometime, but they don't really mean it. They don't want you stopping by. Yeah, I know. So I would be afraid of something like that. I heard that if they ask you 3 times, they really mean it. So,
That's what I was hearing.
So I'd be like, on time number 2, okay, they didn't do 3. And then I would be saying, okay, do you guys really want us to come over or do you not want us to come over? Because I heard you have to do 3 times.
Yeah, but they don't want direct questions either. You have to kind of talk and be friendly and get to know people first.
Lori, I love Oregon. We used to live in Idaho. I have family in Oregon. Oregon is great, but it is ridiculously expensive once again. So,
John, have you tried deft.ie for houses? We have looked at it, actually. Some of the ideas we've gotten were there.
Yes.
Lots of people saying do it.
Yes. Oh,
nice thing
yes,
is,
wait, thank you.
If you're a person that's afraid of going, then if we go, we could show you where you don't have anything at risk.
Becky, we don't have a time or a date yet. We were kind of thinking the summer, either the whole summer or the late summer, but we already had plans for the summer. And so, because we already had a plan to meet up on July 1st, because this really wasn't even on the radar. So, no, Bandana, we want to see you. That's the problem. Could you guys come in September?
Do the children like the idea? Yes.
Yes, Dave is ready to have his bags packed now, and Jack is like, let's go, but let's be back before school starts.
Well, Dave has a friend in County Meath and also a friend in London, and he would like to go visit them both.
Yeah.
Jack, his only hesitation is about missing school there, but knowing that he can go back to the school afterwards would be a positive.
Yeah.
A positive for him. Elly thinks it's awesome. She would like to come and use that as a base of travel to other places in Europe because it's cheap going from there to other places. BJ probably would stay here, maybe come visit us.
He just got back from Europe over Christmas. He went for 3 weeks, so he's kind of Europe did it out. He loved it, but he's kind of like, yeah, I don't really feel like it. So anyway.
But that would be an option for them. So that's great. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining and giving us your input. I was thinking, I don't really feel like going on and telling people when we have no idea if we're really going to go or not.
But guys, here's the thing.
But now I'm thinking I'm glad
We're
we
not
did.
being flaky. We're like, what can we do to have fun that would be something to do? Now, like, we've been thinking about moving to Wisconsin. Well, I went and loved it last August. But I will be perfectly frank. I have been watching every one of Big Family Homestead's videos all winter long. And they still have snow on the ground. And it was 70 here in Colorado today. So, I'm thinking, Mike, you want to hear this? You were right.
Tell me that again?
You were right.
Wait, I don't think I'm understanding you.
You were right.
I was?
Here, I'll even seal it with a kiss. You were right.
I was right.
I think that the winters are going to be too harsh in Wisconsin, and the taxes are ridiculously high in Wisconsin. They are 3 to 4 times. Some of them are 5 to 7 times, depending on what city or county you're in, of what they are here in Colorado. So we're like, well,
I think Wisconsin would be a great place to go for a few months in the summer.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really pretty.
So we may go visit Big Family, but I'm not sure that moving there is actually the best thing for us.
Big Family's on?
No, I'm just saying that I watched their videos.
Bring your mom. I love her. Thank you.
Yeah. Mom probably wouldn't go, so I don't know.
What we were thinking about, is probably we would go and then say, hey, why don't you come over for 3 weeks or a month? And then I imagine she probably would say yes, because she's really always wanted to go. She just doesn't want to be sort of locked in, and partly locked into living with us.
Yeah.
Because like we get along with her really well, but particularly when we've had times where we live together briefly, like when somebody's selling a house, it gets a little difficult especially between Tara and Jill after a while, because
she drives me crazy.
You might love your mom, but living with her all the time as an adult is a little more difficult. And the same thing for mom.
Actually, we get along really well, I think.
You do, but I know. But after a while, you kind of get on each other's nerves a little more.
Well, yeah.
So yes, live stream from Ireland would be awesome.
Ramona, no, we aren't trying to convince ourselves. Ask God, not a bunch of strangers. No, that's not what we're doing. And
sometimes God speaks through the people that we know.
Exactly. And
we're actually pretty comfortable with the idea.
Yeah, we're comfortable with the idea, but since this is such a crazy thing, and we have viewers
just looking for ideas
all over the country or all over the world, we're like, well, maybe one of our viewers would have a house or know of a friend who's going to be traveling or something, and we could rent it from them or something like that. So it's mostly, we're not trying to convince ourselves, just that we were just getting more information is what we were looking at. So
Angela says, what about Florida? In the winter, we would go to Florida.
No, they have alligators.
Yeah, but they're sleeping in the winter.
Why would you go where there's alligators?
Have you ever been to Wyoming? We have, actually. In fact, it's not very far from us. So,
yeah.
Oh, they're so cute. Thank you, Angie. Darlene, you guys are cute. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Lynn.
Oh, that was from the Smoochies.
Lynn says, this is not flaky. This is just wanting to have fun and enjoy life. Exactly. We are not just jumping. Okay, but here's the thing. We're not just jumping from one thing to another. But if we did, so what? If we're not hurting anyone or if we're not going into debt for it, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people that I know, present company sister-in-law, No, I'm kidding. But there's people that they stay in the same house, the same job all their life. And they don't go anywhere. There are kids that I went to high school in Kansas who have never left Kansas. They've never left Kansas. And we're like, people, there's more out there to see.
Some have never left Wichita in their entire lives. Phyllis, what does your niece say? Is she going?
She doesn't even know yet.
So she doesn't know yet, but the thing is that she's been living away from here at Colorado State University, and she has a friend who lives a lot closer there that she's known since elementary school.
Yeah, so
and
she's moving in
her
with her.
friend still lives with her family, and they offered her a room to stay there for the summer. So she's going to be with them. Although my guess is if we decide to do this and it happens to be when she's off of school, she'd probably want to come out and visit. I don't think she'd want to stay for like the whole time we're there.
Yeah.
But,
Shayla, I have a present for you, so don't be bad with me when Mom comes.
Julie, what happened to the campground idea? We still love the campground idea. We're just not sure if we're capable of the energy level required.
I don't think I have the energy to do it. Even if we hired a manager, I don't know that I would have the energy to constantly be talking to people, especially if we are... I hate to say we're famous because I don't really feel like we're famous, but if we're known and people would come to the campground, they would want to talk to us a lot. And actually talking really, really wears me out, believe it or not. So, yeah. April says you don't have to worry about all the alligators in Florida. It's all the other escaped wildlife. That's so true.
Oh, Dee says this is such a great way of showing people what's possible if you're willing to be frugal. Go for it. Yes. Well, it's funny because I think by not spending money on little things that we don't really care about every single day, we could do this. But the reality is this isn't actually it probably won't actually cost us dramatically more than staying here if we are able to rent our house or trade houses with somebody or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Wenda says her brother got cold one winter, packed everything up, and went south to the U.S. Now does this every year, works hard in the summer, then heads south. He's a very relaxed man. Maybe that's what we need to do.
Turid says, my oldest son was in Ireland and Dublin. He had a good time. Yeah, Elly and I kind of passed through Dublin pretty quickly, mostly because of the other places we were planning to go. And it would have been nice to stay there a little longer and visit some things that we didn't see. Especially now I've been kind of in communication with some people in Ireland on various Facebook groups. And some of them are talking about normal life things they do in Dublin. And I thought, I wish I had seen that. That would be great.
And guys, we're not saying if you've never left your town that we're not insulting you or anything. We're just saying if you love to stay in your town, and that's totally fine, go for it. But we have people.
Your brother doesn't like to really go anywhere.
Like my brother, he could sit in his house in his town for the rest of his life, and my brother would be perfectly happy, and that's totally fine. We're just saying if you have a desire to do these things, stop letting fear and those kinds of things keep you from doing it.
We're talking to people who have a dream to do this amazing thing.
I dream.
But in the back of their minds are telling themselves, you're never capable of doing that. You are capable of doing that if you want to. So that's the goal, is to tell people that. So, if you love where you live and you don't really want to go anywhere else, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. We have medical coverage that will cover us going over there, Paula. So, yeah. Okay, I've traveled and lived so many different places. Ramona, England was the most expensive. Yeah, we're not going to England, so.
Although we might go visit Sue.
Yeah, we might go visit Sue.
And Darren.
Yeah, and Darren.
So, just as a recap for those people who haven't been here this whole time, we do still plan to do Living on a Dime. So we may have to change the time while we're over there.
Yeah. And once again, this would probably help our business, not harm it. So that was one of the reasons, is it's a business decision for us. But at the same time, we wouldn't want to be working the whole entire time. So I am really tired. Please go visit us at livingonadime.com. Give us your comments. We want to know your input, your ideas. And if you have a house rental, what we should do for transportation if we go for 3 months, all those kinds of things. If there's something weirdo that we don't know about and you think, they need to know that, let us know. We will see you guys tomorrow night. I have no idea what we're making.
I'm going to share right here the playlist from when Elly and I went
So-
to Ireland because it has all the videos we've so far edited.
Yeah.
So if you want to go see
you
that.
gotta get last year's Ireland's videos done before you do this year's Ireland.
Well, yeah. Actually, there's a point where I got and I thought, oh, I'm kind of sort of stuck there. But there's one I want
Yeah.
to get done because it's almost a year anniversary, and I'd like to send it to a guy that we interviewed on his farm, and he was pretty amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
We would love to stay at his farm, but it has no internet, so that's the only stinky thing.
but it
about
would
that.
be good to do an Airbnb there for a weekend or something.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
So,
yay.
all right, guys, we love you, and we will see you tomorrow night. Mom will be here tomorrow night, but I have no idea what we're talking about.
Well, because you like to plan ahead.
Do we need to make it as in? Well, see, now last night.
Now, I have to give her credit. She's been letting me know in the morning before the show and not after lunch on the day of the show. So that's awesome because that gives me enough time to prep everything.
Actually, I was going to start planning better, but then Grandpa had his problem, and so I kind of got threw off. But yeah.
Debbie says, I have not been out of the country, but really want to go. You know, I've been out of the country a couple of times. And
Oh, yeah, I've been out.
It's,
yeah.
it's truly amazing, and it gives you a different
Yeah.
perspective on the world.
And I'll be honest, I went to Germany, Austria, and Switzerland when I was 14. And then when I was 17, I went to be an exchange student to Sweden, and I went to Holland and Germany then. And I will tell you, since I got back from there 30 years ago, not quite 30 years ago, 28 years ago, I have never, ever, ever had a desire to go back. I really haven't. So this is kind of freaky. That's why Mike, when I said, sure, let's do it, that's why Mike was like, what? Because I have had no desire to go out of the country except maybe to Canada since I've been back from Europe. So
Well,
I think I just got all traveled out and I was like, okay, I'm fine.
Well, I also think back to the days when I used to spend money like crazy when we got married, even if I didn't have it. And I remember getting used to having Tara say, no, that's not a good, we can't afford that right now. But we've gotten to the point where we've paid off all of the debt, and we've got our house mostly paid off.
Medical
and
bills are
the
stabilized. And
we have a regular, predictable income. And so, this would be a good time to do it. So,
all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. I don't know. Tell me what you want to watch us do tomorrow night if we do. What do you want Mom to talk about on our last night here? All right, we'll see you guys.
doesn't sound right.
Oh,
Bye.
no.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
input. I guess Mike's the
We'll
one that
see
shuts
you
off.
later.
Bye. Ending the broadcast. Yes. Boom.